Today I have another roomspiration video for you, and it is on finds I found at the thrift store. To start off with the first project, I found all of these cups in a pack at the thrift store. I know, that's really weird, right? So while you're watching this, I'm going to leave it to you to imagine what I'm making. It's going to be a surprise. So I took a cup one by one and arranged it in a round pattern, kind of like a flower. I love using my hot glue gun as a tool by itself, and I glued all the cups together, and the hot glue makes this structure very, very strong. Then I glued more cups on top of that, and I tried to put each cup in between the spaces of the cups below it. Then for the very top of this, I took 3 more cups and glued them side by side, instead of what I did previously, which was glue them at the base. Then I took the cups I just glued together and glued it on top of everything I did previously. Then I took some flowers, something pretty, and I filled in the structure that was just glue and didn't look really pretty, and I needed to fill up. Do you guys have any idea what I'm going to use this for? Well, I use this to hold my supplies for my craft. You can use this to hold your makeup or your craft supplies or whatever you can think of, and it would look great and cute out in your room. You can even hold office supplies in your office. The next thing I found in the thrift store were these placemats, and they're lace placemats, but they're made out of a paper material. I thought that was an interesting and cool find, and I wanted to do something with them. So I took one placemat and I kind of made a waffle ice cream cone shape out of it. So I just taped it all together. I could figure out a lot of ways to fold this, but I stuck with this pattern because I think it would look great with many of them. So I decided to make many more and put it all together in a fun round shape. So I carefully glued it in the center with my glue gun and took a cardboard piece from a cereal box, glued that on so it was very strong in the middle. Then I turned it around and I did the same to the back. Then I made a hook out of cardboard from the same cereal box and I glued that on the back. Then with another placemat, I cut the placemat into 4 different sections and kind of made the same fold with each of the corners. After I made 2 of these, I glued them the same way in the center on top of each other. I use this as a cute wall decoration, and if you don't have any material like I use, you can use decorative paper, magazines, or whatever else you can think of. but instead of making something, I actually used it as a placemat, but I put it below these drawers. And that's actually weird because this was also a thrift store find. I did this a very long time ago, so I don't have any footage of it, but I'm showing this to you anyway so you guys can get ideas. This is completely made out of wood, and when I bought it, it was all white. So I took some colorful puff paint, and I guess I kind of went to town and painted all over it. So whatever you find that's really plain and boring, you can make it interesting and awesome like this. So I find so many frames in thrift stores. So with the frames that I buy, I make collages on my walls. When I see frames like this one, I love them because even though they're older looking, they still look good in a modern room. You have probably seen this in my room tour video. For those of you who don't know, I do have a room tour, so if you want to, you can go check that out. But back to this, I love creating collages with the different art I make, like these DIYs. I have tutorials on most of these that I've shown, but I love framing them and putting them all together up on my wall. And again, you can find frames so cheap in thrift stores, so I recommend checking those out. The next item I found in the thrift store was this bundle of embroidery hoops. They just came all tied up like this. I know that's really weird, right? But I bought them. So I took different scrapbooking paper with many designs. Then I took the innermost circle of the embroidery hoop and traced it on the back of the scrapbooking paper. Then I just sloppily made another circle around that, and that will make sense to you in a minute. So I cut that out. Then after that was all cut out, I cut strips around the circle and stopped where the first circle was traced. So after that step, it'll look something like this. Then I just folded the strips inward so it would fit in the embroidery circle. Then I put the paper inside and tightened it all up, and it came out looking like this. So after I made a bunch of these with all kinds of different designs, I hung them on the wall in a random pattern. I like this effect. Going back to my collages I like to make, I like doing stuff like this, and I think it looks really good on the walls. You can do this with any designs, any kind of pattern, any color scheme, whatever you like. So that about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I really hope you got some great ideas on how to decorate your room with thrift store finds. You can watch the very first thrift store video if you click there and click for random DIY and the latest DIY, click anywhere you want, and I'll see you next time.